Thank you. Hey, my name is Edgar once again. I came all the way from Ibadan to interview this great man. Shame. Okay, what's with the Gandhi glasses?
Huh?
What's with the Gandhi glasses? You got a new wife.
No, it's I don't know. It's my wife. We decided on it.
Your wife is
No.
hot. How did you guys meet?
This interview is about my wife.
I'm a crush.
I thought this is supposed to be about
No. I'm a
national
crush.
and international.
No, I'm a
affairs.
crush. Let me tell you. I know you can't beat me. Let me tell you to your face. I'm a crush.
Okay.
Wow, your wife's hot.
Okay.
How did you guys meet?
Like hot water.
No, not hot water. I think hot. Okay, you're not Gen Z, you're not millionaire. What do couple like you? What do couple close to 70? What do couple close to 70?
I'm not close to 70.
No, that's not true.
I'm not close to 70.
How old are you?
You'll find out. It's an open secret. You only need to Google it.
Google it
Since
only.
they say Google says everything.
Everything. Okay,
Yes.
therefore I'll Google it. Now, so at times when you're on air, do you cringe when you find all those things?
Cringe how?
You're like, wow, you should have said that.
What does he do?
It's those things he says, it comes up very.
I mean, the platform is to promote free speech, free interplay of ideas. You know, we don't gag people. You know, so there's nothing anybody says. Once you have an identity, you are responsible for what you say. So, and once there is a name and a face attached to what you say, it's a free platform.
Okay,
Otherwise, you won't have a free flow of information.
Okay, so after each, has there ever been a chance when after a show you go back to him and say, man, you should have said that? What's that?
No, I don't do that. I've been in this business for almost 40 years. So I've been here and there, yeah. So I know how it works.
Okay, so when you came in,
The only thing that, you know,
Okay.
people are not supposed to do on television or in print, you know, is to just avoid libel. You are not supposed to defame people, malign people, because
okay, so in your 40-year career, have you had those issues? Level.
no.
Nobody's going
I'm
to call it
not.
40 years.
No.
Three people have
Even
shared
when people go to court, they say, you know, I abused them or I did this or I did that. Eventually, they change their mind. They on their own will withdraw the
No
matter
matter.
from court.
Okay, brilliant.
Because you know the thing about defamation, once is the truth. Truth
Yeah.
is an absolute defense.
Yeah.
You know, once the statement is made in good faith, absence of malice
Yeah.
is a good defense.
Yeah.
So once you can establish that you were not malicious or that you know the statement was made in
good
public
faith.
interest,
Public interest.
in
oh, brilliant.
public interest. Like if you're a government official now, you say, oh, somebody has defamed you, he has lied against you, and all of that. Well, except it's a very strong error
Yeah.
bordering on your reputation.
Yeah.
You can't say you are in government position
Yeah.
and you cannot be criticized.
Yeah.
The principle is if you don't like heat, don't go near the kitchen.
Yeah.
So,
True.
but it's for journalists to know where to draw the line
Okay.
between freedom of expression and being responsible.
Brilliant. You know Tosh?
You said?
Do you know Tosh?
Touch.
Tosh.
What's touch?
The lady that you met.
Toasting, my friend's wife.
Your friend's wife?
Yes.
Okay, that's
That's
Ade.
Ade Adefeko's
What do you
wife.
think of him?
Ade Adefeko. It's my very good friend.
A very good friend.
Gifted, multilingual, you know, and a man of the...
He has never given money before.
no, which one is money.
Okay, wait, so hold on. So Tosh says that.
He's a good guy.
Okay, Tosh says that she's been reading you forever.
We meet at the club every time.
Big club.
So, Ikoyi Club.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Ikoyi Club 1938.
That's true. Hold on, doctor. I'm trying to say something. Tosh says that he's been reading you straight from primary school.
Yeah.
And you just confirmed that you've been writing for 40 years. So what do you think is been what do you think has made you last as long, your relevance? Because those you started with have kind of whittled away.
Well, I mean, I enjoy what I do. I mean, people like me, I started writing even as an undergraduate. You know, in those days, we used to send letters to the editor,
Yes.
to Nigerian Chronicle
Yes.
In those
That's in
days.
Calabar and Cross River.
from Calabar, Nigerian Observer, The Tide, The Democrat. They were state-owned newspapers
Yeah.
at that time. And there was one man then, I think his name was S01.
Yeah, I know him. The English.
He was he even did a book on
Yeah.
you know, and he was a prolific letter writer.
Yeah.
And many young men also started by writing
Yeah.
letters to the editor.
Yeah.
From writing letters to the editor,
Yeah.
you will start your hand at writing essays, you know,
Yeah.
until, you know, one learn the craft.
Okay, so
And I've written
what
for
about the TV?
virtually almost
What
every
about the
paper.
TV?
Well, many people think that I started TV with
Arise.
but in actual fact, I've been on TV since the year 2000.
Wow.
You know, Professor Patu told me he
Yeah.
started, you know, what you
Patitos
call
gang or
Patitos.
something. Oh, you're part of that?
You were not old enough to watch Patitos
No,
gang then?
I found it very boring, so I know to watch it.
Okay.
I don't know if I could say that in public.
I was part of Patitos gang.
Oh.
It was patterned after Capital Gang in the US. That's what Professor Otomi tried to introduce. And
Yeah.
from the year 2000 to 2011, I had to leave when I had to go to Abuja on government appointment. So we were doing it. It was like what you do here, except that this is a podcast. But we started by recording at Lagos Television, and then from there we moved to another studio. And then Professor Otomi built a studio.
Oh.
We had producers, we had some expatriates who had the technical back end. And we used to do that. And, well, the program didn't get sponsorship. I think at the time it was Bank PHB that was advertising. But because it was a heavily political, very critical, no-holds-barred kind of program, I think that, you know, the corporates were a bit reluctant. But Professor Otomi was using his own money, you know, to sustain the program, to push it. And when he went into politics, he handed over the program to me to present.
Oh.
And when he came back, you know, he stayed in the background and then allowed, you know, the younger people to drive the program.
That's good though. Because that's true.
So, but it cost him a lot of money because he was using his own personal funds
to push it.
And that program was on TV nationwide. You know, so but I went to Abuja, came back. It was when I came back, Prince Obagbena invited me to present on Arise News. Okay. So I started first with This Day Live. This Day Live, the Sunday talk show, used to be presented by Charles Aniagolu.
Yes.
So Charles Aniagolu went on leave.
Yes.
So the period he was on leave, I was doing that.
Okay.
And then in between, I got drafted, you know, to Morning Show because he decided to change the look, the feel, the content, you know, ahead of the forthcoming political season. And that was, you know, why the format of Morning Show changed. First, we were doing 1 hour. We moved to 2 hours. Then we started doing 3 hours. Now people are asking for 5 hours.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So I don't want to talk about that Arise Show thing, I beg. I don't want to talk about that Morning Show thing because that's very obvious. You know, I don't like being obvious. So I want to talk about government. Before I talk about government, let's talk about EFCC.
Yes.
Yes, so that picture, you were on this and singlets.
Yes.
How did you feel? Did you feel humiliated or something?
No, I mean...
Did they beat you?
No. They
didn't beat you?
Actually, people don't know this. You know, the EFCC officials, they are very well-trained people.
It's because it's you?
No.
They've carried me before?
No. It's not like that.
Okay.
Look, they have very good interrogators. You see that these people are trained. There are some of them, you know, while we were there, that you discover these people, they've worked with ZMI5 or MI6. They've worked with the Israelis. So when they ask you questions, some of them are lawyers. They are trained. They are not illiterate.
No, doctor, sorry.
So you are talking to intelligent people.
Sorry. I don't talk about that one. I want to talk about your experience inside the cell.
Well, I shared the same cell
with
the now governor of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad.
Wow.
And we had this very narrow, you know that mattress that they use in boarding schools, thrown onto the floor.
Yeah.
And, you know, every evening at a certain time, they come and lock up the cell.
Yeah.
You know, and
did they handcuff you?
No. Nobody was handcuffed. And in that space, it was an underground cell.
Oh.
Okay.
Lagos or Abuja?
No, in Abuja.
Okay.
At any particular time, you could find up to about 40 people there, all sleeping around, and only one fan. No window, no rear window. What was there was just one narrow space that was there. And, you know, you were not allowed to go out. Then in the night, they will come, the security people will come and check and count you. So you really don't have the opportunity to really sleep. And then maybe 2 cubicles called bathrooms, and then 3 other cubicles called toilets for almost 40 people.
Wow.
In a space, no ventilation, no.
How long were you there for?
I think it was a little over 2 weeks. Something I
2
don't like
weeks?
to remember. But the space was so small, no access. But on the whole, you just discover that some of the security people there, they are also human beings.
Yeah.
And they will say, well, we are just doing our job. It's what they ask us to do. That kind of thing. And you just know that, the Nigerian state, I think it was Davido, not Davido, Portable. The one they called Portable that said, when people said he was abusing the naira, he said, EFCC, I beg you, after God, the government, if I've been spraying money, don't forgive me because I don't know. Because when you have an encounter with the Nigerian state, you know that the state exists. And the psychology of the state is quite different from that of the citizen. Or the
I want to encounter too. But I didn't say 2 weeks. I said 2 nights.
Okay.
So when
they beat you up?
No,
they won't beat
me,
you.
They already knew I was coming.
Beat you.
They knew I was coming because the reason I called them, so there's excitement. So but when they released me on the Monday morning. I ran on this whole road barefoot. Run! I ran away. So tell me, the government position, in like 2 sentences, then what was the experience like?
Well, it was an
okay, wait, sorry. Roll back. Don't even ask that question. Nah, that question doesn't make sense. Let me ask a question. So compare your job, how you did your job, with what's happening now, with that wherever it is that's doing your job right now. I mean, how do you compare the two?
Well, I mean, I've had now about 2 predecessors and a retinue of assistants, all working in the same department where I worked. So I don't think it would be fair for me to criticize my successors, my successors. But what I see is that, look, when you are on this side, most people don't know what goes on in government. Nigerians have very high expectations, or what you may call a crisis of expectations. And because of that, they hold those who go into government down to high standards. But the reality within the corridors of power is slightly different from expectations. And you'll find the people who go in there also trying to juggle things, balance things. Are there things they could have done better? Yes, there are things they could have done better. But what I also say is that no 2 presidencies are the same. Every president comes with his own style. And if you are an advisor or an assistant, a lot depends on the environment. So it's very difficult to say, this person didn't do it this way. They could have done it this way. There are certain basic professional things that you can criticize. But there are certain things also that if you yourself as a critic, you do not understand, you'll just be spewing ignorance, But there are basic details that people can be concerned about. Like, for example, the president disappears for 1 week. Nobody tells us about that. You can comment legitimately. But there are certain governmental processes that people don't know about that they just talk, maybe because they have access to the media.
Okay. So if you are given that opportunity, what would you do differently in this particular administration?
To go and be a spokesperson?
Yes.
No, I don't want to be a spokesperson.
No, I agree. I'm just saying.
It's a thankless job.
No, I agree.
No,
what would you
I don't
do
want
differently?
to be a spokesperson.
No, I agree.
You will be held responsible for things you did and things you did not do. No, I don't want to be anybody's spokesperson. When next I go into government, I want to speak for myself.
So what are you saying now? You're going to government?
You said?
You're going to government?
No, I don't know. You never know. Never rule
you
out
tried,
anything.
You tried in Ogun State.
But when I go into government, if it happens,
but
I would like to be in a situation where I will take full responsibility, for
but you try in Ogun
what
State.
I do. Not that I will get blamed, by association. After we left government, people will see you. They will refuse to greet you. You say these are the people who ruined our country. Okay, today we thank God. Everybody is now saying, the Jonathan era was actually,
better.
A much better, golden era, and President Jonathan was a very humane, productive president. What if that does not happen at any point? So Nigeria is a very complex country.
Obviously.
So nobody can say he or she is a magician that can change Nigerians. And Nigerians they blame their leaders, but they're also part of the problem.
Are you trying to avoid the Ogun State talk? Can I ask you 3 times and you don't answer?
Well, I mean, in 2019, I, ran for deputy governorship on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. Where that didn't work out, the party, became divided. There were issues in the party. Up to now, the chairman who is in charge, Sikuru Ogundele, who was my classmate in secondary school, by the way, is trying to put the party together again. So because of that crisis, and the fact that I had returned to, active practice, I didn't want to get involved in all of that. The thing I also wanted to prove is that, look, if you are a professional, even if you go into government to serve, you must have a second address.
Yeah.
There are too many people who see government appointment as a birthright, as a lifetime calling. And then they give them one appointment, they go there, they spend some time in government. And they spend the rest of their lives just looking for government appointment. No, I'm not that kind of person. There are 1,001 things that I can do. So I've shown that you can go into government and you go back. When lawyers go into government, they go back to their legal practice. When academics go into government, and the appointment ends, they go back to the classroom. They pick up the chalk and do what they are doing. But I see many people who just become invalids, apparently, incapable of doing any other thing just because they've been in the corridors of power.
Okay, so this leads me to my write-up this Sunday in my column about Amici.
Yes.
You read it?
Yes, I saw it.
So what do you think of that narrative where people always say, oh, power is transcend, power is transcend? I think it's a very stupid narrative. What are your thoughts?
Well, no, but it is true that power is transcend.
But it's obvious, so why singing it?
Yeah, power is transcend. And the thing is that people, talking about Amici, people saw him at the airport.
Yeah.
Without
paraphernalia power.
Without assistance, without anybody carrying, Look, once you are out of power, all those things are temporary.
Yeah.
So, but Nigerians, they just think, if they have lost position and privilege, it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Life goes on. In other parts of the world, we see people who have been, prime ministers doing other things. Mm-hmm. We see people who have been presidents doing other things. Mm-hmm. But so why is it that people, leaving government becomes a death sentence for them? Mm-hmm. No, that should not be the case.
Yeah, true. Okay, so social media, you have been very, very out there about the need for us to be more cautious with social media.
Well, the point is about responsibility. The social media is a major force to the extent that it has democratized the space.
Yeah.
It has given more and more people the opportunity to speak and to be heard.
Yeah.
The voiceless have been given voice.
Yeah.
But it comes with its own discontents. The problem of all these people carrying small phones, everybody is now a journalist.
No standards.
There was an incident this morning. I think it's the Christ Embassy.
Yeah,
in Oregon. There was a fire incident. I was shocked in some of the, pictures I saw. People saw that. I mean, a tragic. They were taking pictures. They were taking videos. So where is a sense of empathy? Even if somebody were to have an accident and die, the average Nigerian is not going to think of how to rescue that person.
You want to feel it.
The first thing we'll bring out is the phone. So I find that, part of the discontent in terms of our sense of empathy and community. But beyond that also, you'll find the abuse of the platform. Somebody who does not know you, who has no idea who you are, who has no access to any information, will just go on social media and be abusing you.
Have you ever been a target, obviously?
Oh, people abuse me a lot, but it doesn't bother me.
Which one got to you?
None.
Not true.
No.
Not even one.
Because I look at it, I say.
But when APC came at you, okay, what when they released that picture of himself?
It doesn't bother me.
It didn't bother you.
I look at it, I say, look, people will use anything, they will say anything. Once you know that they are just doing it just to either to draw you out or to make you uncomfortable, you just ignore them. You can say what you like. But what I always tell people is that they should know that the law of defamation also covers the electronic space.
Obviously.
And there have been persons who have taken the matter seriously and they've decided to sue.
Yeah.
So until more and more people are sued and they get into trouble, because the fact that you have a phone does not give you the right to embarrass the other person. You don't have such a right.
So do you think?
And when they are challenged, then they will say they are being intimidated. No, you have no right. Your right ends where the right of the other person begins.
Yeah, true.
You don't have the right to go and be abusing people, but you just look at it sometimes. Maybe the person that is abusing you, some people have sponsored him, they pay him maybe 15,000 naira, 20,000 naira per month. And those are the kind of characters you want to waste your time on.
So do you think the space should be regulated?
Well, there have been calls for regulation. The danger with regulation is that it can be abused. And that's why civil society has been quite vociferous in saying that, look, don't regulate social media because you then overstretch it. But I think, I go with the suggestion by Professor Wale Soyinka on this subject, who is also very critical of social media, that we need to invest more in education.
Brilliant.
When people are better educated, maybe they will have a little more common sense. But in a society where most people are just ignorant, even the ones that are educated are half-baked. So what level of civility do you expect in a society where people lack basic intelligence as a result of being poorly educated?
So do you pity Professor Wale Soyinka?
Do I do what?
Do you pity Professor Wale Soyinka?
Why should I?
I think he's the most abused Nigerian ever on social media. Oh my God.
Again, they think about lack of civility. They think about the collapse of values. I mean, Professor Wale Soyinka will be 90 years on July 13, having been born on July 13, 1934. Now, why would any young man who has a father at home, who has a mother at home, say because he has a phone and somebody is paying him 20,000 naira per month to be a Twitter rat, abuse a man of 90 years? I think that this is part of the problem we have in this society. And I think that part of the problem also is that people, they have no sense of history. In other parts of the world, a man like Wale Soyinka will be treated for what he is, a national treasure.
Yes.
An icon. Okay? I mean, a man who represents, the beauty of our aspirations.
Yes.
The only black man from this country to have won the Nobel Prize. The only Nigerian.
But some young children are contesting that Nobel Prize.
You said what?
Some young children are contesting that Nobel Prize.
Which young children?
On Twitter.
What are they saying on Twitter? What do they know? How many books have they read?
Have they read?
Do they even know what the Nobel Institute is all about?
The criteria.
Please, look, the problem with Twitter, all this, they say you can write 140 words and all that. You ask people to write 140 words, people who cannot think to fill a paragraph, and then those are the ones who we assess Wale Soyinka. No, please don't take those things too seriously. And this is the thing about this country, about this, what Walter Benjamin calls the technical reproducibility of the age.
Who's Walter Benjamin?
He's a critic.
Okay.
Yes, he's a critic.
Is he Nigerian?
No. So he says the technical reproducibility of the age is a good phenomenon, but at the same time, it's something that comes with its own side effects, and this is part of the crisis that you see on social media. But I will not trust the Nigerian government to regulate it because of possible abuse and the fact that they can erode the freedom of expression. But yes, in other countries of the world, it is regulated.
Yeah.
But we don't want a dictatorship in
Type
Nigeria.
thing, yeah.
And that's why I say people should be responsible. If you cannot abuse your father at home, don't go and abuse another person's father on social media.
True.
Just because you have access. And also because social media grants anonymity.
Yeah.
So when you just see some of these badly brought up children, abusing people, just stay away.
So Weekend Fubara, where are you?
You said?
Weekend Fubara, where are you?
Weekend Fubara.
Weekend versus
Why
Fubara. Where do you stand?
why should I be on one side or the other?
Me, I'm a Fubara.
No, I'm not on anybody's side.
Why?
No. My job as a public affairs analyst, as an editorialist, is to look at the merit of every issue and to say this is right, this is wrong. So it's not a question of I don't have a dog in their fight.
So which is right? Which is
why
wrong?
should I?
Which is right? Which is
support
wrong? Out of the
anybody?
two now. After your analysis,
I don't think godfatherism is right.
Good.
It's part of the problems.
So Fubara won.
So
Wike 0.
if Wike is projecting himself as a godfather, that is absolutely wrong. And he himself had condemned godfatherism. He had promised that he will not be a godfather. So why is his name being put across as a godfather?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, Fubara in the last few days, trying to assert himself as a sacked local government chairman in 23 local councils. Local councils are a creation of the Constitution, Section 7. And what the Constitution says is that they must be elected at the end of their tenure. The problem now is the tenure ended. The State Independent Electoral Commission did not organize elections, and this became a problem. Now, the House of Assembly is divided. Fubara and the House of Assembly, they've been fighting, they've been quarreling since Fubara got to that position. That is not in the best interest of the people of Rivers.
Rivers State, yeah.
Because it's the people of Rivers State that suffer. Number 4, the governor says he has set up caretaker committees. Our constitution does not recommend, nor does it recognize, and there is Supreme Court ruling on the illegality of caretaker committees. So when you look at all of this on all sides, you see fault lines in that drama, that Fuji House of Commotion that they have in the River State. It is for all the gladiators to lend themselves good sense, to know that they are there to serve the people of River State, not their own personal egos. Because what is projected in all of this is just ego.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, Sanusi and Adubairo.
Well, that matter
Don't dodge again.
No. That matter is before the court. And the latest is the ruling, I think, by Justice Lehman. And I thought that ruling was contradictory. In fact, that ruling by the Court of Appeal, added even more
confusion
to the confusion. Because on one hand, you say that the State House of Assembly has the right to repeal the law. So in other words, His Lordship didn't want to interfere with legislative authority. On the other hand, you said the status quo
should remain.
Okay, in the ruling, it didn't go as far as explaining what constitutes the status quo. And because the ruling is not very clear in that regard, the state government is claiming that the ruling favors the state. The other party, the deposed emir's side, is also saying it favors them. So I think it's important to have a clarity. But the matter is still, in court. It's not been resolved. There are issues about jurisdiction that still needs to be resolved. But, I cannot comment on the substance of the case. That would be prejudicial to what the courts are looking at.
Okay, so I've run out of questions. Any question you want to ask me? Let's swap again.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm a professional here.
What did you go to do in Ibadan?
I can't sit down here. They'll kill me.
Why? I'm curious now. You went to Ibadan yesterday. You've rushed back this morning.
The ground movement.
Which other?
The ground movement. But let me ask you. This is Akpabio's national anthem or transit. What do you think? So Akpabio said some two very funny things now.
Yeah.
Quite funny. I don't use the word stupid, but quite funny. You get first on national anthem and banditry. Now on the plane, that I don't know. It was quoted that have said that yes, we know Nigerians are hungry, but what do you think of him? What do you think of his mental state?
I'm not a psychiatrist. I cannot comment on his mental state. You must know that maybe you consider me biased because the Senate president is also a great Malabite, like me.
Malabai, that's UI.
No, that's University of Calabar.
Oh,
Okay, so, old school boys, kind of thing. But I think that with regard to the aircraft, for the presidential aircraft, what they said was that having reviewed the status of the aircraft, first by the Air Force, it's the Air Force that manages the fleet, and the commander of the fleet is usually an AVM, from the Nigerian Air Force. And the House of Reps also set up a committee to review the status of the aircraft. And what they said was that there was an incident when the president traveled and he had to switch planes. And at another time, the vice president could not go to the United States again because of an aircraft problem. So I think on the basis of all these reviews, they now decided, that they should get
new
aircraft. But, Nigerians like Mr. Peter Obi and others have said, why go and get a new
plane
aircraft at a time
like
Nigerians are, are suffering, that should not be a priority. There are Nigerians who have said the president should travel
commercial.
But again, my stock response to this is that the safety of the president and the vice president and people in sensitive positions is just as important as the safety also of Nigerians. And I made a suggestion that is it possible they sell part of the fleet? And if they're able to save money from there, then they won't have to tell us they are going to spend
X amount.
Such a huge, terrible amount that will frighten Nigerians. I will just calculate that money and say, you can use this money to build more hospitals. So if these people, if they want to travel, let them go by commercial flight. If they don't want to go, let them stay at home. The urgent priority is cost of living crisis in Nigeria, which is a major thing. It's also a major thing in Kenya, where people have taken to the streets because they are being asked to pay tax. And the people are saying, you want us to pay 16% VAT on a loaf of bread. When the president, traveled in a private jet to the US, you want us to, you have increased VAT on petroleum products from 8% to 16%. In this Kenya, so the people are on the streets. It's the same way that Nigerians here feel. So it's for government, while juggling the balls, to also be sensitive to the concerns of the people of Nigeria. But I've now seen that they want to sell 3 aircraft, they say. So they have to explain to us how they are going to go about that. I know that the main aircraft that is used by the president, I think in 2014, when we were in government, that aircraft was refurbished. The interior was redesigned and all that, but that was 2014. I'm not an expert in
that area.
Aviation. This is 2024, 10 years later. You don't know what happened.
That's happened, yeah.
I think in our time, too, we bought new helicopters. There was this big helicopter that could take more people instead of the smaller ones. But the Jonathan administration did not create any noise over it. The plane went for servicing for about a year. When it came back, it was almost brand new. So can they look at other options too? Because of all this. And this is coming at a time when they say they're also renovating the residence of the vice president with 21 billion naira. So Nigerians are, shocked to say, you people are just mentioning billions upon billions, and we have a cost of living crisis. And you are asking us to make sacrifices. And then why are you yourself not making any sacrifice? The Senate people and the House of Reps, you people are riding SUV. So governance should be about the people, not about your own privileges. As for the national anthem, well, I didn't think that's a priority. Whether you sing Araiso, Compatriots, or Nigeria We Hail Thee, what Nigerians want is good governance. Food. Respect for the rule of law. They want food on the table. They want jobs for their children. It's not about singing national anthem. Whether you are rising or you are hailing, what does it matter? If you can wake up in the morning and survive.
Okay, I think your red bow tie has carried all the camera away. Are you sure you're showing me too? Be showing me one I didn't know. Please, I don't cut it. Let it part of the interview because I think when I saw you come out, I was like, wow, it's Professor Red. Oh my God, do you think we have lost our bite as a people?
You said what?
Do you think we have lost our bite as a people? Because see what's happening in Kenya, not like that's happening here.
Well, I mean, short of, we should be careful not to incite Nigerians. We're still feeling the pressure of NSAS. NSAS showed at that time that it's not that Nigerian people have lost their bite, because police brutality got to a stage that young people, not your traditional protesters, young people took to the streets.
Yeah.
Said, no, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You can't run this country like that.
Yeah.
And look at, the cost of that protest. And it's a similar thing that is happening in Kenya. Now, if you don't manage the people's expectations, if you don't show them good example, then you create, a crisis. And oftentimes the attitude of people in power is to say, oh, it's the opposition that is encouraging people to fight us. Oftentimes, it may not even be the opposition that is behind it. It may well just be the people themselves saying that we are stakeholders in this matter, and we think that the people leading us, are not leading us well. Sometimes a protest, the logic of rebellion, could be in certain circumstances spontaneous.
Okay, so let's talk about polygamy now. This is you, not me, because I'm inside the trouble right now.
No, you are the one who wants to talk about polygamy.
Yeah, I'm inside the trouble right now. So everything that's going to be said in the next 2-3 minutes on polygamy are not my views, because I don't want to be locked out of the room. I've been locked out of the room for 4 years. So.
Who locked you out of the room?
I can't even answer here. They're still beating me as I'm talking to you.
Who is beating you?
The people who are involved in the polygamy. That's to tell me, what are your views? Polygamy in modern day world.
Okay, let me put it like this.
Are you polygamist?
No, I don't want to be...
You don't...
People have their... No, you can't quote me. People have their individual choices. Okay? The law in Nigeria does not say you cannot make your choices.
Okay.
There's freedom of choice guaranteed by the Constitution.
Okay.
Right? Every choice that individuals make will come with its own consequences.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and begin to talk about and preach to people. In fact, there are some religious groups. I know one friend, I will not mention his name, who quoted several sections of the Bible to me.
Yes.
And said, look at the Bible. There is polygamy there. But
in the Old Testament, full.
Well, you know the Bible.
Yes,
too?
sir.
Are you one of the prophets?
Yes, I was.
Are you one of the pastors?
Yeah, I'm a pastor.
So it's about individual choices.
Yeah.
And there are people who tell you, it's religion. Are you going to say, XYZ, because he's a polygamist, you take away from the person's value or contribution within the public space? What is private is private. I don't think we should carry torchlight and be gaslighting people's privacy.
What's more gaslighting? I hear that a lot. Gaslighting. I hear that a lot. It's gaslighting. They're now they call tease. What's tease? Steez.
No, that word, steez.
What does it mean?
It's maybe another word for glees, for glamour.
Glamour, okay.
Yeah. And they used it a lot during
so
this.
So you're teasing. That Ojo do something.
During this Ojo Oba.
Oh my God. Did you see those women? I love Yoruba women.
You saw only the women.
Oh my
what
God.
of the men?
I didn't see the men. That guy that is on the stage and that horse, my friend though. I can't remember his name. I don't even know all of that noise. Do you get it? It's okay. You can go and sit down. But the women, there's nothing more beautiful than a Yoruba woman in Owambe mode. Oh my God.
Well, you know how the Cambridge Dictionary describes Yoruba people? It says, if you check the dictionary, it says Yoruba, the fun-loving people of West Africa.
Wow. I mean, the colors, crazy.
Yeah, we are supposed to be fun-loving.
Yes.
But beyond that, I think festivals like Ojudi Oba, the Calabar Carnival, the Eyo in Lagos, the Agungu Fishing Festival, the Doba in Kano, the Doba in Ilorin. I mean, these are expressions of our cultural identity
True.
that project us positively.
True.
And I remind all of us, including you call them Gen Z or Gen X,
Whatever they call
Gen whatever
now,
they
yeah.
are, of the beauty of our culture, of the heritage,
Yeah.
of the African, people. And that's why it's so interesting that every year when you have any of these festivals, they create a sense of community. They bring the people together.
Yeah.
In December now, people like you will leave Lagos, you go to Calabar,
Yeah.
you will go home
Yeah.
to go and identify with your roots.
Yeah.
So I think government should now take interest in all of these cultural events,
yeah.
and see how they can use culture
And monetize it.
as policy,
Yeah.
as tools for development, as
And
business.
social cohesion, very important.
That is the point.
Coach is go catching you.
Yeah.
It's go catching you.
Well, haven't we done more than enough time? I have another engagement.
Okay, fine. So finally. Last. Do you think I'm mad?
Yeah?
Do you think I'm mad?
No, I've known you for some time. I think at least you are one of the people that has common sense. You have common sense. So people who have common sense.
They're not plenty.
Okay. Don't let me say so that you don't say I'm condemning Nigerians.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this beautiful conversation. And I must tell you that I didn't expect anything less. You get, because of your depth. You get, I must thank you for being part of this.
Thank
you have any last words?
Well, I've enjoyed myself very much, and I want to congratulate Tosin Adefeko.
Tosh.
Well, I've told you, she's my friend's wife. I can't be calling her nickname. I want to, congratulate both of you with what you are doing with Duke Rants.
Thank you.
And it's exciting to see this office, a fully built, studio.
Purpose built.
Podcast, which is also something that is catching on phenomenally in the social media space. And I think every opportunity, every investment to extend the conversation, to expand the public space for, the interplay of ideas is something that should be encouraged at all levels. And I hope that at some point, when Nigeria continues to improve, initiatives like this would be allowed to grow and will receive necessary support.
Thank you. Just say last words. You don't talk 10 minutes now. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, this is Duke Rants with my God, Dr. Reuben Abati. I can see the doctor. You don't talk past everybody here put together. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.